Hi guys, a very warm welcome. And in this video, I'll be showing you about how we can work on the CloudWatch monitoring. So you can see that I'm logged in into my AWS account and I'm just going to change the region. And what I've done is I have created one instance in the Ohio region. We are going to monitor this instance resources and the metrics and how we can do that. We just have to go to the CloudWatch service and we can search for the service from the AWS search tab. And here you can see the CloudWatch, primarily used for monitoring resources and applications. So once I click on the CloudWatch dashboard would appear. And what we need is, we need to create a dashboard of metrics of this instance. So we want to get the metrics of this instance on the CloudWatch dashboard, and we want to read it in the numeric form, or let's say in the pie chart form. So how we can do that? So here you can see this is a CloudWatch dashboard, and it gives you the option to create an alarms for your AWS resources. Like for example, if I create one EC2 instance, so I can create an alarm for that as well. Whenever the alarm condition happens, whenever the threshold crosses, there can be some action that can be taken. Let's say restarting an instance, stopping the instance. You can have the CloudWatch logs, so you can store the logs on the CloudWatch as well. You can filter out the metrics. You have the X-ray traces through which you can get the metrics of the applications that are running on the EC2 instances or any other resource. Likewise, there is a specific application monitoring option also. You have the option to create an events. However, now the events are created from another AWS service that is called as an event bridge. And then you can have the reports where you can click on the insights and get the detailed reports. So when you move to the instance, so how you can get the monitoring metrics directly from the instances, there is an option called monitoring after selecting the instance. So when you click on the monitoring, you get the graphs. This graph and the reports actually comes from the CloudWatch in the backend. So when this instance was created, the CloudWatch found that there was some changes in the EC2 dashboard, and the CloudWatch started monitoring this instance. Since the CloudWatch is a free of cost service for 5 minutes of refresh time interval, hence we need to wait for some time to get the reports published in the graph. So here you can see, if you want to know the CPU utilization, you can get it from here. Status check phase, network in, network out, network packets in, all those details you can get it from the monitoring tab of the instance. But these reports are in the form of a graph. Now let's say if you want to get the reports in a different format, so you can go to the CloudWatch management console here. And you can go to the dashboard, create a new dashboard, and let's say we name this dashboard as instance monitoring, and click on create a dashboard. Now once this dashboard is created, how do we want the reports to be published? So we need to add a widget. I can use Explorer, I can use in the form of line, var, pie. I can customize the widget accordingly as well. So we want the reports to be published in the form of numerics. So I just select number and click on next. Now it would ask you for which service you want the metrics to be reported. So let's say I select, I want the metrics to be reported for EC2. So I click on EC2. Per instance metrics. So for every instance I require the metrics. And here I'm going to select my instance ID. For which instance ID the metrics are required. So I move to the EC2 dashboard, look for the instance ID which is ending with D3A. So I just search for it, and right now I don't have any metrics for that instance ID because we just have to wait for some time since the instance has been created just now. So let's wait for it for the metrics to be appeared to be visible, and then we are going to see the reports. So now you can see for our instance there is some metrics data that is available. Now I'm just going to select a couple of metrics. Let's say I select CPU utilization. I want to know what is the CPU utilization for my instance. Then I just want to know what is the discrete bytes. That's the second metric. And then I just want to use, I want to know what is the network end traffic. These are the three metrics that I've selected. And click on create a widget. So here you can see, since we selected the widget in the numerics form, so we got an update that the current CPU utilization of my instance is 0.2%. There is no discrete bytes, and the traffic that is flowing towards the instance is 1.7 KB. We are not putting anything on the instance as of now. And in case if you want to get those details directly from the EC2 dashboard also, so you just have to go to the monitoring and you get in the form of graph the reports. So that is one way of working on the CloudWatch. And as I mentioned that, other than that, you can create an alarms also on the CloudWatch. So here you can see, if you look into the CPU utilization, it is 0.2% here in the graph format. Now coming to the next activity, that is the CloudTrail. So CloudTrail, as we discussed, is an auditing service, and how we can work on the CloudTrail is, and how we can see the events on the CloudTrail is, first of all, we just have to search for the CloudTrail service. Go to the CloudTrail, track user activity and the API usage, click on it. And then when you click on the event history, you get the details, you get the events, all the events that has happened on the AWS account for this specific region. So stop instances has happened, create a dashboard has happened, somebody logged in using a root credential. So when somebody logs in with a root credential, that means the owner of the AWS account has logged in. If the username is, let's say, stop EC2, so this action was taken by the AWS itself. Some backend process is running which trying to stop the particular instance. Could be a Lambda function also. Likewise, here wherever you find root or the username as an IAM username, that means a person has logged in into the AWS account and performed the specific task. So here you can see the root user created a security group in this particular VPC, and that was the name of the security group. It was launch-result-116. So these events would keep on occurring, and event history shows you the last 90 days of the management events. But in case if you want to store the events for a longer duration of time, then you can create a new trail also. How you can create a trail? You can just click on create trail here, specify the trail name, and then select the S3 bucket where you want to send your trail events to be stored. After that, you can click on next, and then you would see that the logging would start. So whatever the events that would come to the CloudTrail, that would be event automatically pushed to an S3 bucket. So on the S3 bucket, you would find one folder that would be created. Let me show you. So let's say I put a trail name something like audit, and I use an existing S3 bucket. Select the bucket name or browse the buckets. Let's say I select something like AWS Demo 9876 bucket for storing the logs. Now, if you want, you can store the logs on the CloudWatch log service also. It's optional. Click on next. It says, okay, so the key management system, the key management service encryption is enabled. So we are just going to disable it. We don't want any kind of an encryption on the data. Let's next. Now, what type of an events that you want to be logged in or stored on the S3 buckets? Management events. These are the management operational performed on your AWS resources. Data events or insight events. So we are just going to select the management events only as of now. Click on next. and then click on create a tray. A tray is created and it is active now. You can stop the trail also anytime. You can disable the trail as well. So the status of the trail you can see audit logs is logging. The status is logging and the home region is Ohio region. Now if I move to the S3 bucket, so let's say I move to the S3 service, click on it. And I select AWS Demo 9876, that is the one that we selected for the trails. You would find there is an AWS logs folder that is created. And on this AWS logs folder, the logging is going to happen. The files will be generated. Here you can see the CloudTrail folder has been created. So whenever a new event would appear, automatically it will be uploaded in this particular folder. So that was the working of the CloudTrail, guys. Thank you for watching this video.